All right, let's dive into a topic that is just so important for any educator, any parent, really anyone who works with kids: behavior management. We're going to go way beyond just simple discipline and actually build a framework that helps all students, especially those with unique needs, to really truly thrive. Okay, so let's kick things off with a really big question. When you see a student acting out, what's your immediate reaction? It's so easy to see it as a problem, right? As defiance. But what if we're totally missing the point? What if the behavior itself is actually the message? This right here, this is probably the single most important mindset shift we can make. Instead of seeing a kid who is giving us a hard time, we start to see a kid who is having a hard time. That behavior you're seeing, that's just their way of telling you about a need that isn't being met, a frustration they don't have the words for. It's communication. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to learn how to decode what behavior is telling us. Then we'll build a whole toolkit of proactive strategies to stay one step ahead. After that, we'll cover what to do in the moment. And we're going to wrap it all up with the glue that holds it all together: relationships, before we hit the key takeaways you can start using like tomorrow. Okay, first step. For this part, I want you to put on your detective hat. Seriously, we're shifting our role from being a disciplinarian to becoming an investigator. We're looking for clues, trying to understand the real story behind what's happening. And this is where it gets really practical. Pretty much every behavior, when you boil it all down, is trying to do one of two things. It's either trying to get something, like your attention or a toy, or it's trying to avoid something, like a really tough assignment or a super loud lunchroom. Get or avoid. That's usually it. And that's the whole job of a behavior detective. You have to figure out the why before you even think about dealing with the what. I mean, if a student is throwing pencils because they're trying to avoid a writing assignment, just taking the pencils away doesn't fix the real problem, does it? The problem is the struggle with writing. You've got to address the why to see any real change. And once you know that why, that's when you can get proactive. This next part is all about setting our kids up for success from the get-go, building a toolkit of strategies that can prevent challenging behaviors before they even have a chance to start. I absolutely love this analogy because it's just so perfect. Think of it this way. Proactive strategies are your fire prevention plan. They're the smoke detectors, the sprinklers. Reactive strategies, that's your fire extinguisher. Now, you definitely need a fire extinguisher for sure, but wouldn't you rather spend most of your energy on preventing the fire in the first place? Yeah, me too. So, how do we build that prevention plan? Well, here's a simple 4-step framework. 1. Clear expectations, and I mean crystal clear, with pictures if you need them. 2. Visual schedules. So much anxiety comes from not knowing what's next. This solves that. 3. Catch them being good. Seriously, positive reinforcement is like a superpower. And 4. Offer choices. Instead of time to write, how about, do you want to use the blue pen or the green pen? It's a small shift, but it gives them a sense of control. And hey, your toolkit can always get bigger. You can add things like token economies, social stories, even something as simple as priming, just giving a 5-minute heads up before you switch activities can be an absolute game changer. The secret is finding what works for your student and then just being super consistent. Okay, but let's be real. Even with the best prevention plan in the world, sometimes fires just start. It happens. So what do you do right in the heat of that moment? This part is all about reacting with purpose, not with panic. And here's the most crucial thing to burn into your brain. When a student is escalating, your number one job is to be the calm in their storm. You are the anchor. This is not the time to teach a lesson. It's not the time to lay down the law. The teaching can happen later, once everyone is calm and feeling safe again. So here are a few tools for that fire extinguisher. Sometimes, for those little attention-seeking behaviors, just ignoring it makes it go away. Or you can redirect their focus. Offering a break is huge. It gives them a chance to regulate. And this is a big one. Use fewer words. Short, simple, calm phrases. And finally, validate their feelings. Just saying, I can see this is really frustrating for you, isn't giving in. It's building a bridge. It's de-escalating. Now, we can have the best strategies, the best toolkit, the calmest response in the world, but without this next piece, they're all just empty techniques. The real foundation, the thing that makes everything else work, is relationships. You've probably heard this quote before, but man, it just hits the nail on the head every single time. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's all about trust, isn't it? Our strategies are only as good as the trust that delivers them. A kid has to feel safe with you. They have to feel seen by you before any of this stuff will actually work. Think about it. Learning is a risk. Trying a hard new problem is a risk. Making a friend is a risk. A student who trusts you is willing to take those risks. Why? Because they know if they mess up, you'll be there to support them, not to judge them. That trust, that's the magic ingredient. Whew, all right, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all home. Let's boil everything down to the absolute must-remember essentials that you can take with you. Number 1, you are a behavior detective. Always, always look for the why. Number 2, spend most of your energy on fire prevention. Being proactive is just so much more effective. Number 3, when you do have to react, remember that your calm, consistent response is your greatest tool. And last, but definitely not least, relationships are everything. Trust is the foundation that everything else is built on. So, I want to leave you with one final thought. A challenge, really. This isn't just theory to think about. It's stuff to do. So take a look at these ideas and ask yourself, which one of these strategies are you going to try tomorrow? Which one will you use to make a student's day a little bit better, a little bit safer,